It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they present it to you and you go, I like the way bread used to be when you could just tear it off a loaf. Sir, there's no answer to this. There might have been questions. There's questions all the time. You know what? People are gonna ask questions. They're gonna say, "Hey, fella, what kind of music do you play?" Okay, do I have to answer? You know what? It's just music. What kind of people are you? You just play rock and roll, or um, uh, you play hip hop or speed metal, punk, reggae, folk music. Um, I don't know. You finger picker. You know what? The answer should be, what kind of music do you play? The music I like. Welcome back to Loving's Guitar. Are you having a good time? Feel that it is music, even it might not be musical to anyone else. It might not even be musical to me. It might only be musical to that one person that felt that it was music to their ears. There is that saying that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And with that being said, there's going to be things that, people like. They say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they present it to you and you go, I like the way bread used to be when you could just tear it off a loaf. I don't need nothing sliced. So now we're just talking about bread. This is not a bread channel. This is not a mallet finger channel. This is a guitar channel for for guitarists who, poor things, poor people. These people have taken a lot of abuse for so long, decades. I was gonna say centuries, but the guitar hasn't been around that long. There's some predecessors, before the Gibsons, before the Fenders, before six strings, before we even called it una guitarra. It was this thing could have been, I don't know, it could have been in the shape of anything else other than what it is now. But luckily, there were a few pioneers before us, before our time, and they made these contraptions for us. This is like, this is this is just a Harley Benton. No, genius, it's a guitar. The brand is Harley Benton. And before that, there was an impetus to play the guitar. Now, I could use that impetus to, well, grab my Gibson. Where's my Gibson? But I'm not. I'm grabbing this thing. And I can grab anything I want. That I paid for, I should say. I think about these things. How much is this is ours? It's like the home you live in. The home you live in is not yours. It's only yours what you think it is until you die, or you lose your house, and then it's it's someone else's. It's for someone else. It's for something else. Maybe it'll get demolished. So today's topic is, you know what? Regardless of what people say you're doing with your thing, the can opener, you call a guitar, and regardless of what they think is music to their ears, what's the most important thing to be completely enveloped by is that this is not a can opener, right? And that music in your head, well, some people might say you're just completely loony, bonkers, lost your mind, just you got guitaritis. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, there's a can of, let's just say, beans. Let's just say you don't even like beans. You don't like anything about beans, but there's kidney beans, black beans, navy beans, yellow beans, brown bean. I don't know beans. Isn't it a blast that you could go to a supermarket, pick up a can, use your can opener, open it up, and, well, eat that. Devour that. Let that get into you. And, well, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but you got to the supermarket and you gave it a shot. Why? Because you were hungry. And this, well, is a means to let your hunger fly. And so when you're out looking for the music that you want to play, all you really need is the hunger. And you know what? Before you know it, you'll be chewing on anything just to quench that appetite. And so, what is it that people are asking you when they ask you, "What do you what do you play?" They want to know what kind of cans you get at the supermarket. So what if, you know, the type of music you make is not in a can, right? Suppose it's non-traditional. Let's just say nothing is 4/4, 5/4, 7/8, 3/4, 11/4, what 22 over 8. What the hell? It does. Let's just say it's every measure is a different, time signature. Oh, well, let's just say we go through all the keys, let's go all whole tone, old tone, whatever. If it sounds like garbage to everyone else, it doesn't mean that it's not a good can of beans. Maybe it's the can of beans that you were looking for. Maybe it's exactly what you were looking for to do. And you know what, folks? That's the thing about music. Some people think, and granted, you know what? There's money to be made, and especially if you're a musician, allow yourself to be inspired by whatever means necessary. If you're out to experiment with combining salsa and blues, go for it. If no one likes that kind of combination, it's your ears you got to deal with, not theirs. It's your pain and through your fingers and frustrations through your head, how to combine that. Don't, that's your world of intrigue and world of discovery. Maybe no one else wants to hear it. Who cares? You know what the most important thing is? Do the things that you need to do for whatever it is you need to do it for. You need to hear these things. Here's another thing, folks. It's okay to make mistakes. So suppose you spend a half a day on an idea, and so you bust it out. You wrote some tracks, you wrote some melodies, you got everything going. You even wrote some lyrics to it. And maybe a day later, after you hear it again, you go, well, it's not that I don't mind adding to it, like maybe making it better or refining it. But maybe my whole mood has changed. Maybe I don't even want to do that anymore. Maybe I got something else in mind that took my mind over. And now I'm doing that. Don't feel guilty. You didn't stop. You just added something else in your life. Um, music Music comes in many stages. Sometimes the whole stage comes to you pre-made, pre-manufactured. And all you got to do is just learn your part, do it, and you you can get it done. But if that is not available to you, well, then you got to write it out. Then you got to practice it, and you got to work out all the bits and the parts, the A, the B, the C section, the bridge, choruses. I mean, outros, intros, whatever, solo areas. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to play with. Nothing to be intimidated by. And sure, you're gonna, you're gonna put a lot of extra homework on your plate, but this is all work that you asked for because it gets you off. I mean, uh, it gets me off studying music to this day. Studying music. One of the things that I like to do when I'm not just playing guitar or just trying to working on building this channel with bits and pieces, parts and stuff. This has taken me quite a long time. I'm a little over a year into this, and it's amazing how much equipment I have, accumulated just for this channel. Uh, when I was a rock and roller on stage, I didn't have a tenth of as much of the equipment that I have now. And I'm not doing this on stages anymore, but now I have a lot of tinker time. You know, maybe it's because of my age. I don't mind taking hours now to sort things out. Um, I remember when I was half my age, everything had to be sorted out before getting to the rehearsal studio, because you don't want to waste other people's time as you're tinkering away. That's got to be on your time, not under the band time, rehearsal time. So now at this age, I have a lot of time for me, and with that, I get to explore a lot of things that I I never verbalized, and never said out loud, and people don't know it. But there's a lot of things that I wanted to do. I just never got a chance of doing them in music, I should say. And uh, what my 60 plus years has taught me that nowadays I believe it's a better environment for a young guitarist to enter. Um, Today, in this era, now in 2025, uh, you can get a you can get a guitar for like under $300 that could, for all intensive purposes, could be the only guitar you actually need. Um, it's not a Gibson. It's not a guitar that costs 10 times more than this, because that's what the average guitar would cost. If it was a Les Paul or something like that, right? Um, I think that there was a time when um, that was the entrance fee necessary. You had to show up with your gear. I had to have the big brand names on it. But times have changed, and the world has industrialized. Um, it, the good equipment is not just made in the U.S. anymore. Some of these U.S. manufacturers have gone overseas, where they train their faculty personnel uh, to work under their specs and their supervision. So when an American company is manufacturing their equipment in, say, China, all right, sure, it's coming from China, but it's still being supervised, authorized by the parent company, saying, okay, but has to be by this standard. Okay. And that's what I do like about, in general, about Harley Benton. Now, that's not a U.S. company now, it's German. So maybe there's their stringency on quality control is better. And one thing about I could say about Harley Benton, which I found very interesting, is that now this is my fourth year into Harley Benton now, maybe fifth year, maybe 4 year. I don't know, something like 4 or 5 years into it. And from the very first guitar I got to more recent, like even these, my DC custom. Every every year, every 6 months, whatever, I get new Harley Bentons because I'm into them. Um, I definitely see the quality control. Um, so anyway, this is the Harley Benton SC-550ii FDF. This has the Tesla pickups. Uh, all I can say is, you know what? This guitar is just amazing. That's all I have to say. Anyway, if you guys like this channel, it'd be really cool if you subscribe. Thanks so much. I'll see you the next time I get all choked up for something like, new. In the meantime, why don't you do something for yourself and make a whole lot of noise? about we how about we just be nice to each other? How about that?